Oh. Good morning, Janelle. Good morning, April. Hi, Anna. Hi, Victoria. Hey, Rose. Oh my God. If you can believe it, it's like 10 o'clock and I'm actually not finished with my morning coffee. So we're getting a slow start this morning. Good morning. Yay. Hi, Kaylin. Um, good morning, Christine. Hi, Angie. Hi, Jennifer. Ooh, good. I'm glad. The Aries season playlist is really different than the music that I usually put on the playlist. So thank you for that feedback. Um, I'll post that again if you haven't seen it. If you guys have the app, the Aries season playlist is on the front in the at a glance. The link is there. But I'll also post it in my Instagram stories if you would like that. Let's do some smudgies. Here's some smudgies for you guys. And for you watching on YouTube. Good morning, Brittany. And here's some smudgies for you, TikTok. Oh, okay. Let me do this really quick. I don't know. Good morning, Janine. So how's everybody doing? It's been a week, right? It's been a week. Continues to be. Good morning, Holly. Oof, God, I'm making a mess. All right. Well, I hope you feel better soon. Ooh, flip a table kind of shit. What does that mean, Janine? Are you feeling like, are you angry? Are you feeling angry? Christine says, I've been a little more squirmy and needing more grounding. Okay. And Janelle feels very comfortable in this energy right now. Allison says, heading to the beach for my anniversary, but feeling a head cold coming on. Hey, Nancy. Hey, Sabra. I'm glad you could join us. Yes, the coffee and coaching session on Wednesday was chef's kiss, as they say, and I can't wait to continue that conversation on next Wednesday. To continue talking, continue talking about this 12-year cycle that we're about to start in April. Yeah. So Carrie's saying, I feel like I cannot relate to most people at the moment. It's true. that split energy is fierce this week. And the timeline shifts have been fierce as well. It's like, I don't know, it's very yes, April. Coffee and coaching is always recorded and you can find it in the app, in the replays. Yeah, coffee and coaching is the, I don't know, it's becoming my favorite thing. I'm glad that just happened. You can always catch the replays in the app, and if you are not a coffee and coaching member, you can try it. You can try a free trial. You can go to sarahmala.com to learn more about that. But basically, it's like coffee and magic, but we get to really talk to each other and dive deeper into what's going on energetically and share our stories. And that's been really great. So I love it. Lori says, good morning. It's been a week. I've been getting nailed with energy this week. Yes, that's one way to put it. That's one way to put it. Here's the thing, not to oversimplify, but maybe sometimes that's what we need. Um, it's that time now where as we're heading towards that April 12th date, anything that you have not taken care of is now going to be um, right in your face, and you're not going to be able to not see it. So, with that being the case, depending on your circumstances and whether you've been, listening or not listening, right? Like how land are you feeling? These next couple weeks, I wish I could say saying these next couple weeks are going to be intense as fuck because anything that you have not been wanting to look at, you are going to be looking at. And not only looking at it, but kind of like immersing yourself in it and shifting with it. So all of it's coming up. You may find that right now you are very easily triggered. And I'm feeling that for myself right now too. I think that for me, as I become more aware of who I am as an energetic being, like understanding how I personally interact with energy, how I personally feel my triggers, and I can kind of now pinpoint where when something gets me, I can feel that it's an old program reacting to it. And the question is, am I going to allow that reaction to happen or am I going to try a different behavior? A lot of times, allowing your old programs to react feels most satisfying in the moment because that's what you're used to doing. It's kind of like a dopamine hit, quite honestly, to kind of act out by using the old ways because it it serves an initial purpose of letting you kind of blow off the steam or feeling like you're doing it, but then it doesn't feel so great after. Whereas before, maybe it did feel better, it doesn't feel great now because it's so out of alignment with what you've stepped into. So pay attention to pay attention to what's triggering you and see if you can play detective with that, right? See if when something really gets you riled up, if you can say like, is it this thing that's riling me up, or is this thing that happened scratching the surface of something else entirely that needs to be looked at so that it can be either resolved, transmuted, released, whatever it is. Sometimes these things just need to be spoken. So that's a big one. It's not a it's a time. I just gotta tell you, it's a time. We're all tired. We've been doing this for a while, but I also do feel that we are right there. Like it feels like everything's about to pop. So hang in there. We're gonna pull some cards this morning, we get some weekend insight for you guys. Possibly pulling a collective card too. If they have, I don't know yet. Um, let me see here. I can tell you. Mm. Good. I'm so glad. I'm glad that we're doing the lives at 10 o'clock on Fridays because it is really nice for my West Coast and my West Coast people, different time zones, be able to come in here live. Okay. So what I wanted to get for you were two dates, the two next live channeling dates. So they're both going to be on Thursdays at 8 p.m. The next two live channeling. It's Thursday, March 31st, 8 p.m. and Thursday, April 14th, 8 p.m. So those are the next two live channeling dates. If you want to write them down, you'll also find that in the app on the At a Glance page. Live channeling is now a separate subscription. This does not apply to you guys if you are an OG or BFF member. That's your grandfather into it. But if you are interested in just signing up for the live channeling, you can do that as a subscription, or you can purchase a ticket and watch it just once. So that's up to you. But live channeling has been really intense lately, and we've been following along with some new characters that have come in. We've got H, the female knight, that's come in. We always have Ashtar. We had a weird like pan satyr type creature come through, and we're really diving into that idea of feminine anger and redacted female history and all kinds of things. So it's fascinating. I can't wait to jump back into there on the 31st. But if you're interested in joining us, go to my website, sarahmala.com, and you can learn more about the different services and sign up or buy a ticket for live channeling. It's gonna be good. Also, while I'm saying businessy things, the next intensive, the next 8-week intensive is Return to Ritual, and that is currently open for enrollment. We launch on April 19th. When you join, you'll immediately have access to all of the programs, so live channeling, coffee and coaching, and the rewiring library with meditations. So for 8 weeks, you'll have access to everything. And that 8 weeks, like I said, is open now. So if you're interested, I have not seen the Mystic Martian Oracle. No, I have not, but it sounds interesting. All right, let me take a sip of this coffee and let's get into these cards. If you're new to Coffee and Magic, welcome. I'm Sarah. I do Coffee and Magic at 8:30 a.m. on Monday mornings and 10 a.m. on Fridays, and you can always catch the replays on my YouTube or on IGTV. Come follow me on Instagram. Sensory card pulls are where I give you 3 things, and then you choose the one that feels most aligned with you in this moment and drop it in the comments. And then I pull 3 separate sets of cards to give you your message for today. So I'm interested to see what the vibe is this morning with the cards. Let's see, what are we going to do? What are our 3 things this morning? Okay, we're going to do emotions this morning. How about that? So I'm going to give you 3 different emotions. Be really feel into this for yourself. I'm going to give you 3 emotions, but don't just go like, oh, I'm feeling that emotion right now, so I'll pick it. Really feel into the way that the word sounds, the energy of the emotion, and feel into that vibe for yourself, okay? So emotions, but don't just go off the word. Do you know what I'm saying? Oh my God. You guys, Saber and Carrie are like, emotions. Oh. Now I'm going to double down on that. These cards are probably going to yell at you. Okay. So we're going for emotions. We're going for emotions this morning. So like I said, as I say the emotion, feel into the prismatic experience that is available to you within each of these emotions. Don't just go off of the word itself and the immediate connotation. Take a second. Take a second. Okay. You ready? Okay. Joy, frustration, and peace. Joy, frustration, and peace. Feel into each of those and then drop in the comments which one you're resonating with. And don't judge yourself. Don't feel like if you pick frustration, you're a frustrated person. Just maybe that word is what feels right for you. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay. Just don't overthink it. Just feel it. Just pick that one. Okay. Joy, frustration, peace. Joy, frustration, peace. Okay. Ooh. Okay, so if you're just joining us, we're about to start sensory card pulls. You're choosing from one of 3 emotions: joy, frustration, or peace. You're allowing yourself not to judge yourself for the choice that you make today, and instead just feeling what the vibe is and going with that. Just doing an extra shuffle here. Okay. Joy, frustration, peace. What are you choosing today? I'm choosing frustration. All right, here comes joy. Oh my gosh. I'm not even on my page here. Okay. Chanel. Janelle says, what is my purpose in life? To moderate TikTok. Okay. So joy, frustration, and peace. I'm about to reveal the joy pull. So when you're ready, do you feel ready? Joy, frustration, or peace? What are you choosing this morning? Okay. Here comes joy. The dragon. Focus. Movement. This is your joy pull. So if you chose joy, pay attention. And if you didn't chose joy, if you didn't choose joy, also pay attention because you never know what's going to hit. So always leave yourself open for the hits. Okay. All right. So we've got the dragon, we've got focus and movement. Dragon is 24, focus is 33, and movement is 36. Yes, the birds are very active right outside this window. So let's talk about the dragon first. Dragon energy's definitely been coming in, right? It's I've had that conversation with a lot of you guys. Dragon energy is when you are connecting with dragon energy. It's kind of like I want to say like warrior Ganesh energy because it's a very clearing and expansive and powerful energy and it allows you to kind of move through obstacles with a type of almost like cutting through the obstacles like butter, it's like everything is put into a different perspective when you've got dragon energy behind you. And so you are able to harness and utilize this extra boost right now, my joy people. So, yay, that's exciting. That means that whenever you go to do something or to think about something or to create something, whatever it is you're doing, you have that extra boost of inspiration and power and strength that's backing you up and supporting you. So, excellent. With that, you also have movement and focus. Focus is really key right now. There's so much swirling around, so much chaotic energy. It's very easy to lose your focus and it's very easy to get derailed and to feel like you're confused about how you feel. The focus card is here to kind of pull you back in. This is a reminder to call your energy in. It's a reminder to clear your energy of energies that are not for you, that are not yours, to constantly ask yourself, is this how I feel? Or am I absorbing collective? Okay. Focusing on what? Focus on your own desires. Even if that's scary, focus on what you want to feel, what emotions you want to feel. And you chose joy. So I'm guessing that's part of it. What does joy even mean to you? It's a concept that we speak about all the time. Find your happiness, find your joy. But it's not so wild to think that we don't actually know what that is because a lot of us have spent our entire lives in fight or flight mode. And you know what has no room in fight or flight? Joy. Joy cannot exist in fight or flight mode because there's not enough oxygen for it to get a breath in. So if you are wanting to focus on joy, what's the first step you have to take? You have to actually know what that feels like. So you have to start doing something. You're invited to start doing something that actually brings you feelings of joy. Go explore what that means for you. Otherwise, you can't really set that as your intention because you don't know what it feels like. In order to bring something in, you've got to know what it feels like. Wait, let me rephrase that. In order to bring something in intentionally, you've got to know what it feels like, even just a little bit. Okay? Even just a little bit. You don't have to know it up and down, inside out, but just a little bit. You got to get the vibe of it. You also have the movement card. We're on joy right now. It was joy, frustration, and peace. So frustration is next. The movement card is for everybody because this is where we're at. Literally nothing, not one thing, is going to stay where it is right now. So do not try to anchor into shit right now. That is going to only frustrate the hell out of you. Keep yourself loose. Do not lock your knees. Understand that you're going to make a plan. And then, like 2 days later, the plan's going to be like, nope, not the plan. And instead of sitting down and crying about it and saying, like, wow, I must be the worst ever because none of my plans ever happen, just remember timelines are shifting all day long, like literally all day long. It's part of the process. This is going to be the way it is for a minute. But what are you focusing on? We just talked about it, right? You're focusing on finding little ways to feel what it is you want and allowing yourself to have those things so you know what it is you're focusing on, okay? So that is your joy message for this Friday. All right. Next up, we have frustration. All right, frustration. Thank you for the campfire. All right. Frustration, which I picked this morning. Birth and rebirth. Ooh. The eagle. Double ooh. And the bard. Ooh. All right, the bard is number 7, the eagle is 9, and birth and rebirth is 50. Whoo! This is a loaded pull. Let's dive in. Okay, so if you chose frustration, or if this resonates with you, let's get it. We're going to talk first about the birth and rebirth card. Now, in this particular deck, there is, I'll try to break it down for you so you do today. In this particular deck, there's a birth and rebirth card, and there is a death card. They're very tied together in some ways, but they're also different. And so we have been getting the death card a lot. It's been a while since we got this particular card. The death card is the end of an energetic cycle. That means that energy that's been going through the growth spiral is now completely done and needs to be dismissed from your field to go do something else. That energy has completed for you. The birth and rebirth, however, is different. The birth and rebirth speaks of the growth cycle. So it's an energy that is going through a refresh, so to speak. It is being revitalized, it's getting a makeover, it's understanding itself in new ways and coming out bigger and more powerful and more expansive to give you a different experience within that same energetic construct. Does that make sense to you guys what I'm saying? Because as I'm saying it, I'm seeing it, but I'm hoping that I'm relaying it in a clear way. This is an energy that you've already been working with that is receiving its level up, okay? And that is this card right now. Now you also have the eagle, okay? And the eagle is, in this deck especially, it's kind of like the level 10 bird energy. Like it's the biggest, most expansive, most connected to the angelic realms type of energy. When the eagle comes through here for us today, for those of you who picked frustration, the eagle's coming through to remind you that when you actually feel frustrated, when you feel like, oh my God, like, can like literally anybody not be the most fucking annoying thing ever? Like, are you feeling that lately? Like, just people are just not doing it for you? And you're like, no, not doing it for me. This is a reminder that everybody is in flux right now, and not everybody is handling that with grace and the flow. In fact, you're probably not either. You're probably annoying people as well. Just letting you know. Everybody is in that space. Our ability to remember that everybody is moving into their new positions, and seeing that from a broader perspective every once in a while before you just like write off all humanity is very important, because you're actually part of humanity too. And I promise you that as much as other people are driving you bananas, you are doing that to them as well. You cannot help it. You are not above it. We are part of the collective, okay? The only difference is you're taking the time to understand the why. You're taking the time to understand the mechanics and the science of the energy that affects everybody. Okay. No one is not feeling this. They just don't have the containers to put it in. Right. So, whereas someday you might wake up and say, like, oh, it's, let me jump on coffee and magic and let's see what Sarah's talking about with the energy. Somebody else doesn't even know that that's a thing. They just wake up and they're like, well, I'm fucking anxious. I should probably medicate a little harder today. Like, that's the difference. It's not anything else but perspective and what you know or don't know. Okay? So that's what the eagle apparently is wanting to tell you. Now the bard is also here, and this is the number 7. Oh, this is funny. I'm going to read this comment. She says, I'm late to join, but I'm 100% the most annoying I've ever been right now. Yes, I feel like I'm also very annoying. So I'm here with you. So the bard is here, and here's the thing, and this has been coming through so much for me lately in how I'm starting to navigate my business too. Like, this is a big one. The bard is all about storytelling. Okay. And when I think about how I show up for you guys and what my point is in, waking up in the morning and like putting 3 screens on my fucking face and talking about the energy, what's my point? Why am I doing this, right? Why? And I have to ask myself that question all the time, because I always want to know. The answer is different all the time. Right now, the answer is to tell our stories. I want to tell you my story. I want to hear your story. I want to hold space for others to come and tell their stories, so you can hear their stories and they can hear your stories. Because here's what happens when people tell their stories, right? We connect. We find more places that we're similar than we are dissimilar. Division happens when people believe that they are not alike. Division happens when you allow that program to come in that says this person is nothing like me and couldn't understand my perspective. And, all of that. That happens when we disconnect our energy and stop telling stories. Okay. So when I think about this platform and what I do when I show up, regardless of how it is, if it's coffee and magic, coffee and coaching, if it's an intensive, if I'm live channeling, what's the point? The point is to tell stories and connect with each other, because that is how we heal the rifts that we have. If most of the people on earth believe that they are like each other and connected to each other, we would never, ever be able to be so divided. Okay. So keep that in mind as you hesitate to fully express your own story, as you feel like nobody would want to hear that. I'm telling you that they do. I did a TikTok maybe yesterday or the day before, and it was talking about the 12-year cycle that's coming up. And I was sharing like the tiniest little bit of what had happened to me in my last 12 years. And I will tell you that the comments that started coming in, so many of them were like, "Oh my god, your story sounds like mine. Oh my god, your story sounds like mine. Oh my god, your story sounds like mine." This is the magic. When you realize that the story that's been isolating you is actually a story that so many people are living simultaneously, you have a shared experience, and that makes you feel like you belong. And when you feel like you belong, you're not so anxious. You don't feel so bad about yourself. You don't feel so alone. And that's the magic of it. So tell your story. That's the bard. Tell your story. I promise you, we want to hear it. Okay? And if the people around you right now do not want to hear your story, it's time to get some different people to be around. Okay? That is the frustration. That was the frustration. And the next one is peace. I'm so glad you didn't delete it, Safra. It's so important. Ah, get it out. All right, last one. It's the peace selection. For those of you who are new, welcome. If you are interested in learning more about what I do and how to connect with me, just go to my website, sarahamala.com. All right, let's do this. Pew, pew, pew. All right, this is coming up again. This is apparently a theme for us. I feel like this was Monday. I feel like Monday this came up and another day. This is the peace one. It's the king, it's number 3. Burden, 43. And the novice, 5. Okay, so have you been getting burden or king energy? You've been feeling those? I feel like they've been coming up, but we'll see. Okay, so here's your story. If you chose peace, or if this just resonates with you. We're going to talk about this one first. Burden. Say that word in your head or out loud. Burden, burden, burden. What comes through for you? How does it feel in your body when you say burden? Where in your body do you feel it? When I say burden, I feel it weighing right here on my chest. Burden. Okay. I'm going to ask you, we're going to do this a little differently. You're feeling where that is in your body. Burden. Burden. Ask yourself right now, what is it that's weighing on that part of your body right now? What is making you feel burden at this time? And you can share it in the comments if you want to. But what is it? Is it a person? Is it an insecurity? What is it? And once you've identified it, you've done 2 things here. You've identified where it is in your body, and you've possibly identified what it is, who it is, the vibe of it. Once you have that, I want you to focus breathing in through your nose. And as you breathe in, bring that oxygen into that space, okay? Really bring it in and then hold it there for a second into wherever it is in your body that needs that oxygen, that needs that visibility. And then when you release, you're not releasing it, but you're shaking it up a little bit. You're just adding a little wiggle room, okay? So when you exhale, imagine having a little bit of wiggle room around that burden energy, okay? So we're breathing in and then shaking it loose a little bit. Breathing in and then shaking it loose. You can do this anytime. You should do it all the time, but really feel that in your body, okay? How does it feel when you breathe into it and just give it a little wiggle room? How does it feel when you identify it, breathe into it, give it wiggle room, and don't attack it? Don't tell it it needs to go, okay? We're not attacking our burdens. We're not attacking stuck energy in our bodies. Just giving it a little bit of space to wiggle so it doesn't feel so stuck, okay? So that's your burden card. Ooh, you scared me, kitty. That's your burden card. Doing a little bit of rewiring here in Coffee and Magic. You also have the king and the novice. All right. You also have the king and the novice. And interestingly enough, most of us don't have a very expansive idea of what masculine energy is. And at this time, I think we're all really being invited to look at that and to understand what masculine energy means to us. You are for sure. Because if you've been feeling like there's an energy, and I'm going to call this energy almost like impotent, like you're shooting blanks, like anything you do doesn't seem to bear fruit. That's a very old and damaging patriarchal masculine program. That virility and the ability to, impregnate something is the sign, is the ultimate sign, the pinnacle of masculinity. We are not giving ourselves credit for the myriad of expressions and energies we hold within us. Right now, we exist in duality. So we talk about masculine energy and feminine energy. Pretty soon, we will expand our spectrum to understand many more different types of energy that are not masculine and are not feminine, but exist in their own little dimensions, and that we all have expressions of right now. But again, while we are still working within the constructs of duality, our brains are like all the time. This card is asking you to ask yourself what your own masculine energy means to you and how it feels, just to observe. You also have the novice, and the novice is very similar to the Fool card in tarot. And this is all about new beginnings, and not even just new beginnings. This is you starting a brand new journey. This is the Jupiter in Pisces conjunct Neptune that's coming up on April 12th, okay? This is you brand new. You got your wobbly legs because you're just brand new. You don't have a whole lot of muscle tone. You don't have any experience. You don't know anything, right? You're just like, I know that I'm here and we're doing it. And poof, right? And it feels very vulnerable. It feels a little scary. And if you are a person who feels like you need to be able to do something perfectly on the first try, this is going to feel like maybe I've made a mistake because I'm not perfect at it. And oh shit. But if you're not perfect at it, that means you haven't done it before. And that's very important. It's very important to push yourself into spaces that feel like this is scary because I haven't done it before. That means you're breaking through some programs. Okay. So that is your peace message for this morning. Got a lot coming up, my friends. It's a wild ride and it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Don't lock your knees. Remember to breathe into the spaces that feel tight. Remember to give a little grace to yourself and to others because as much as other people are annoying you, you are also annoying them. Everybody is a powder keg right now and everybody is giving off sparks. So we're just in that volatile space of being constantly triggered by something, right? And trust the triggers because if you're being triggered by something right now, it's because you needed it. So enjoy that. Allow it to bring you into that space of realization so you can either let something go, integrate it, or whatever you need to do with it. But nothing is going to be unseen now. Nothing's going to be hidden. I don't care how good you've been at repressing all of your emotions and your things. You are not going to be able to run from this one. Not if you're tuning in here. If you're tuning in here, there's no fucking way. So here we are. Join the community, feel the support. Okay? Join the community, feel the support. We are here for you. The Inner Sanctum community is literally the best and growing by the day. You can find out more about the community at either innersanctum.me or sarahamala.com. And I am so glad you've been here today. If you've enjoyed, please like, share, follow, do all those things. It helps me so much to show up on the algorithm and to keep me able to create free content for you guys on Mondays and Fridays. I love you. Mwah. Have an amazing weekend, and I'll see you back here Monday at 8:30 a.m. Okay? Bye-bye.